Good day. This is the Elliott Wave weekly update for the NASDAQ 100 being recorded on Saturday, October the 26th, 2024. I am going to start on the NDX on the cash market, and I'm going to hope that this box will reduce itself and drop down. Otherwise, I'm going to have to, there you go. There it goes. Okay, so we're on the weekly chart. And as far as the big picture goes, there's really no changes to make. I continue to count on my largest level a primary fifth wave up. And within that primary fifth wave, we get 5 days of intermediate degree, which I'm now working on getting to the completion point for that intermediate third wave. And that would be via the finishing stages of a minor fifth wave. So we have 1, 2 on an intermediate degree, and then within intermediate wave 3, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 done, and we're in that minor fifth. And it is presenting its challenges. I have to say, if you're actually trading the NASDAQ, you're realizing along with me, it's like, what are they doing? And I'm coming up with, some suggestions with some reasons, and primarily it is actually tying itself around the options, how the options flows are really challenging. And the reason is because there's now options traded on so many different products. And not only that, but those products have expanded. So in other words, we have an index, we have the NDX, we have the NQ, and then we have the ETFs, which are the triple Qs. And then we have ETFs that are built on single name. So in other words, it's an ETF based on an ultra long or ultra short in NVIDIA, an ultra long, ultra short in Apple. And those are considered ETFs. And so there are options that trade on that, plus the options that are trading on all of the underlying within the NASDAQ 100. So those continue to expand in terms of new products, and they're very well funded. So we have a lot of individual institutional traders, individual traders, large traders have many avenues where they can go and they can build a position and they can hedge all within mind what the movement of the index is going to be. But it breaks down to movement of individual stocks within the NDX. And we've seen a lot of movement inside this index that has produced rallies, strong rallies up, looking like complete collapses down. And so it's really kind of jarring in terms of what the heck is this minor fifth wave attempting to put through. So again, what has happened to me, again, I'm going to state, not trying to be a little bit wishy-washy is the word that comes to my mind in terms of like, is it a diagonal? Is it not a diagonal? Is it, isn't it? And that continues to be the hardest play, I think, to put my finger on. So in this particular point, based on the futures market, I have gone back to a diagonal for the cash market. Now, a lot of it primarily based on movements that we have seen inside these indexes. So inside of the NASDAQ, moves in Apple, moves in Microsoft, moves in Tesla, moves in just a lot of the bigger stocks, all on the basis like we got it. Tesla's earnings, they're done. We got them. Market loves them. Market rallies. Mao has tops and downs. It got everything that they need to kind of put things together. But really what it affected were the options. And the market and the moves in Microsoft infected the options, these large positions that were put on that many that expired on during Friday's expiration, but a lot of it got rolled out. So this whole play continues to go and take us through year end, I believe. But again, my seasonal charts continue to suggest that the equity markets should see a very nice rally in November up into about the second week of December. Now, what could really kick that to the curb? That whole concept, that whole idea, kick it straight to the curb. Well, any of the earnings reports that are coming out next week, and we got Apple, we've got not AMAT, we have Apple. I do have AMAT. Hold on, I will get you those. We have Apple. We have those are in. That's a dividend. What are the earnings? The earnings are in November. And so we have Apple, we have AMD, we have, I believe, Coin coming up next week. We have Google coming up next week. Oops. So I don't want to do that either, do I? We have Google coming up next week. We have Meta coming up next week. We have Microsoft coming up next week. And so we've got a lot of the big boys, a lot of these titans, a lot of the Mag 7 putting out their earnings next week. So my thought process there is that if Tesla manages to squeeze out a good report, then why shouldn't we not expect Apple, AMD, Amazon, the rest of them to do the same? Are they not making money in this particular market? Are they not making money within their sector? Are they, et cetera, et cetera? So I do think that collectively, that's what could take us to the finish line for the minor fifth wave, the intermediate third wave. Then we get a larger intermediate fourth wave correction. But here we sit, fighting that tooth and nail. And I believe, again, it is the options flow, the capital flow, the gamma flows that are really producing these intraday moves. Now, starting on the weekly chart again, no changes. We're still in this minor wave 5. Let's drop it down and take a look on the daily chart to see what kind of it looks like now. So I've gone back to the diagonal, which again puts wave 3 up here. And now we're in a minute wave 4. Well, I could put it there. That's a beautiful little ABC now, isn't it? But then we get the nice rally up. But if I go over and look at the NQ, boom, we're way below. So could it be a 4? Yeah, we're working on it. But I think this is an A, a B, and we still got a C wave coming down to put in that minute fourth wave. And you can run fibs from there to figure out there. Now, this would suggest flat. We got pretty much that is the deal. So we're actually, if it's going to be a flat, I'm not looking for it to go below 19,900. But we're up at 20,300. Yep. So we could drop 400. Well, what's going to create that? We got all these earnings reports coming out. Well, then we mix into this whole mix. We have an election on November the 5th. We also have a growing and simmering, likely on a high flame now, conflict in the Ukraine. The overnight, Friday to Saturday, Israel did their retaliation move and said that the retaliation is all done. Iran said, didn't cause much damage. But does that mean we're not going to escalate, or does that mean we are going to escalate? Does that mean they're going to be behind the scenes deciding what they can do next to each other while Israel continues to battle Hezbollah and Hamas? I don't know. To be seen. Is it volatile? Extremely. What's going on in the Ukraine? Well, we know because now we got everybody, including Zelensky from the Ukraine, to talking about, yep, we're now getting reports that North Korean troops are massing along the eastern border in the Donetsk region. We pronounce that. That's an escalation. And what happens now? Zelensky's already asking for help from the Western alliances. Is this going to turn into a world war? What happens if it does? What happens if it really escalates? What happens if the U.S. gets pulled in? What happens if the U.S. gets pulled into the Israel-Iran situation? What happens if the Houthis in Yemen really start to go, okay, we'll go whole hog? There's so many angles of which these things could escalate and get out of control. What happens to our market? Do I believe that it's going to ignore it? I don't. So what could really determine that we're just going to take a real quick dump here? Well, an earnings report that doesn't fit in, an escalation, the election. We got so much coming in. Now, next week is all I really want to deal with right now. And I'm hoping that these earnings reports are going to put everything else to the side and it manages to hold itself at the side. And we get up and we finish this minor fifth wave and we finish this intermediate wave 3. Then all of those things that could fracture the rally, dump the rally, maybe come into fruition. Now, I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a fortune or a future teller here of what can happen to this market. The wave count that I'm using still suggests that we have additional upside before minor wave 5 is done, particularly that we need to get above minor wave 3, which in the NDX sits at 20,543, 544. We get above there, we are in new high territory for the NDX. That's required for minor fifth wave. Get above that third wave. Right now, we have a fib level at 21,010. That could complete and make the whole picture clean if it should occur. Now, so let me drop it down again. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart. Now we're looking inside this guy to see what does all this look like. Well, here we have, I'm back to that triangle. And then we have 1, 2, 3, could be. That did go up to new high, but it didn't go above there. So is it wave 1? I don't think so. That's such a nice, clean ABC down, though. I got to tell you, it truly is. But then again, that would push this up to here, and that would make this very defined. And I'm already looking for it to pop above, extend up and out and just basically shoot up and out and then be done, that level. So I'm already looking for that. And then to come back down. So not that I necessarily would think that we're going to get a finishing diagonal that's going to spike, but I am going to look for it to spike, to be honest with you, to finish. So again, a lot of stuff that goes counterintuitive to what may happen or what I expect to happen within this count. What I can tag onto it, that it's a finishing move. It's a minor fifth wave. And I can go all the way out and put that weekly chart back up, and we can see minor wave 5 began there, but the whole minor move started back in December of 2022. So the whole minor wave move to finish intermediate 3 started then. So we're in the finishing stages of it. And they really, my minor wave 5 began on August the 5th. So we're already September, October, a couple of months into it. I think we got to get it done. And so we're progressing pretty well, but now it just seems like an awful battle to kind of get itself up here. I'm going to bring it down onto the hourly chart. Again, beautiful ABC, but then you can see it's just 3 up. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First little 5 down, which is more apparent when I move over to the futures market. So that's why I'm leaving this A, B, and we're going to come down. Now, just here, we could say, if I had to put it in, and I'm going to use my fibs, I'm going to use extensions. If we're going to say it's a flat, which pretty much it is, well, then we're not looking, there you go, 19,993. Here you have 19,934. That would be an absolute flat. In fact, even a little bit lower. Am I looking for that? Not necessarily. If the market falls apart, can I get there? Yes, we can. But that's going to be something's got to be driving it. It's not, I don't think that, I shouldn't say I don't think it can happen, but I would not be looking for the options flow to drive the market that low on its own. If it had an enzyme or a stimulus or something would stimulate that type of selling, then yeah, we could get there real quick. But right now, I don't know. But there are too many outside factors that could just go erupt and boom, we're there. So how do we want to trade this? It's difficult, folks. Trust me, it's difficult. Even the intraday trading is presenting its challenges. And I'm hearing from a few people that are, comment regularly that they went to enter in a trade, and they felt that we were moving up in that more of a impulse wave up, got caught, got slammed, and got dumped on. And it's like, yep, I understand. Now, even as a day trader, there are moments when it's like, oh, I think we go this direction, and it's like, boom, slap you in the face. Now you're down $300, $400, $500 on a day trade. And that could be trading a one lot. I'm telling you, a one lot in the NQ, boy, it can just rip you to shreds. So, it's not been easy. It's been choppy. It's been crazy. So you can get these sudden moves up, followed by sudden moves down. And again, what I'm attributing it to are the option flows. I really am. And that I still do give those levels in my trade room. Again, I'm working on moving I've gotten the permission and setting up membership sites on YouTube, and I will include offering those memberships to this to my channels that are in existence. So no matter which one you subscribe to, that there will be the ability that you'll be able to move in memberships, and then each membership will be offering particular perks, they call them. And one of them would be giving those levels where we have put wall, call wall, volatility triggers. We have a larger collectively negative or positive gamma. And because it really does have an effect right now, it truly does. And what I'm seeing is that there's been a lot of movement in the option. So there's been a lot of switching around of where are the volatility triggers? Are they higher? Are they lower? And they can change. Now, we saw them get triggered in both directions several times last week. Where they're getting triggered are in the Qs and the spiders of the two markets that I follow here. So it's not been real easy, but I'm going to be looking for a C wave down. And again, we can do the whole thing on Monday and be all done with it. And then begin to put a 400 and then start to rally again. And because we'll start to get these earnings reports. So that's the NDX. Let's go over back out to, let's do it on the daily. I'm going to open this up and take a look. You can see that the moving average is really reactive. Yeah, they are. And I'm not sure what happened to my 8. There it is. Kind of got buried. It's not really looking that bad because it was, according to the cash market, it's a green bar. So still kind of going flat with an angle to the upside, angle to the upside, angle to the upside, angle to the upside, and just the 8 and the 20 just starting to go flat. I imagine they will if we come down, and this will go flat, and that's going to provide support above a level where I think it could come. So let's say it goes flat, and it goes flat right around here. It's at 19,783.85, somewhere in there, which is a good, 40 points above that fib support. But it could spike and then come back. A lot of things can happen. And then the 200 is sitting way down here and still angling higher. So I think the market is still in relatively good health to continue the rally and finish it. That's actually also my point. All right, let's go over to the NQ and see what the NQ is doing. Same deal. I'm here on the daily. Nothing changed in the upper picture. Still looking for this minor fifth wave, still working within the confines of a diagonal triangle. Now, going to come down out the daily because I got 1, 2, 3, and now still looking at 4. I'm going to bring it down to the 4-hour chart and open it up from here, and it starts to get pretty sloppy. Now, initially, I thought, wow, nice. ABC, stick a 4 on it and go. And it's pretty much what I did until we got to Friday afternoon. And we did go up, and we got as high as 20,707. And we needed to get above this 3, right? Because if we're in the minute wave 5, and that was at 20,680. So we got 27 points above that level and reversed. So I'm like, okay, what does all this mean? ABC-A, ABC-B, and we're going to come down in the C wave. So what is that going to look like? Well, I'm going to use the same deal. and I put through, and I'm looking for this. Now, slight irregular, okay, didn't break the boundary, but slight irregular. If we use it as a flat, 20,106, maybe as low as 20,089. That would put the A, B, C, keep it in the flat, maybe even a little below that. I include this, and actually I should change these colors. Well, that because I just put it up and I want to just make it clean. That one's going to be ineffective. And so let's go here and go here. And I would not be looking for 2.618. If it does, if it starts breaking the 1.618, then I'm thinking it's something else. So here we have it. That it's going to be a minuet C wave to complete the minute wave 4. And that we have it. Now, if it stops right here and turns and goes, boy, and then it's another tough call because deep 4, because it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to have a rally 5. And if it happens, then this all goes back to 4. This goes back on, and we start to break towards this level. And again, in the futures market, let me bring this out. In the futures market, we need to get above 21,213. That's the high for minor wave 3. Minor wave 5 should break it. So we continue to look for 21,665 to 21,720. That's the zone where I would think the minor wave 5 should top out. So this could be a failure. If it got there and dumped, it's a failure. Not by a whole lot, but it's still a failure. And we'd be looking for this thing to just bebop all the way out of the picture. So if I put this up here and this comes a minor wave 5, intermediate wave 3, you're looking for a 4, and it's going to start off with a catalyst. It's going to start off with something has shaken the market and taken all this bullishness and tossed it out the window. Now, could it happen by the end of the week? Yeah, maybe. Right? Again, we have all these earnings reports, which they're now talking about. It's like, well, Tesla came out, nice little surprise, came positive, was received very well by the market. Stock rallied 20%. But here's some things that are also staying at a higher level. Normally, when the market rallies, we've been looking for volatility to kind of come off a little bit and give us a signal that it is the risk-on trade. Right, so they're selling the VIX and they're taking that money and they're going in and buying the vol of the underlying. Now I saw a little bit of that, and then it reversed. So whether it was rolling things out, whether it was getting out of what they couldn't monetize or whatever on Friday, I don't know. But I have a lot to say that I believe it was all due to the options flow, the capital flow, and the gamma. Now, how that comes back out and what we see is going to be important. So in other words, what these levels turn into come Monday morning, that's what's going to be important to kind of keep an eye on. Because they could just turn this around and go right back, turn it around and go right back up. If not, and in that case, I would have to put it down to, let me just kind of bring this in a little bit. In this case, it's ABC, and I'm going to put the 4 back there. A minute wave 4. 1, 2, 3. But look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5. In a stretch, I suppose you might be able to say, maybe. But I'm looking at where this one closed or where this one opened. This is the high, or it opened there, went down, then went back and closed up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me, 1, 2, 3, and then the 4 and the 5. But I believe that's it could also be this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 1-hour chart. So that I do think it's 5 ways down. And you can just break it down. Look at that on the 15-minute chart. Let's take a look. Here, a little bit different. ABCA, ABCB, as a C. So is it in and of itself 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4? And then let's see what it did. Did this after. That's not very convincing that, okay, this is done, ABC, now we're going to go up. No, we kind of went down. And that was all the after. This was actually during our session, right? Finish the day, coming down. That's why I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get some follow through to the downside. And we've got that level, 20,106. If it's going to come down as a little bit of a flat, because this is 20,707 versus 20,671. So again, irregular, maybe a little bit, comes down pretty much in a flat. That's pretty much the flat, 20,106 to 20,080. Can it do it quickly? Well, this came in pretty quick. So yeah, they could. Again, what pushed the market there? What was the catalyst? What really was going on? And I'll tell you, expiration, gamma, capital moves, options. That's what I feel. I don't remember hearing or seeing any news that on the geopolitical front that would have caught the market off guard and made it sell. But I did know it was an expiration. And I did know we had a lot of stocks go running up, allowing dealers, traders to monetize. And then they were out. And then it was time, okay, we're gone. What happens to that gamma? It just jumps into action. It disappears. And now we got a different view, a different look to what, is going to push it lower. So there's that. So in the NASDAQ, it's a two-prong. It truly is that if I could bring it up back out to the 4-hour, open it up a little bit, I still do feel that we got 1, 2, 3, we got a 4, whether it's complex or whether that completed it. I want to tell you, I really am hoping that completed because it's so clean. A, B, C, zigzag, beautiful. Yep, that was a little bit complex, but still, A, B, C, nice. Put the 4 there. Let's get out of the way. And then they got back in their own way. So, position trader, I heard it from them. Tried to play it to like we're going to go up and you get trashed instead. And that gets old. But it's just a product of how the NASDAQ and how the markets are trading right now. So it's difficult to be a position trader. It's difficult to be a swing trader. It's difficult to be a day trader. You can catch those moves, but you might have been wrong-footed and had to get out and get back in. You had to realize, clear my mind, we're going down, I'm going to sell. Or, oops, that was a short, not going to work. I got to switch, got to go back, got to go long. And you've seen it get real choppy and bounce itself all around. And that can cost you a lot of money. Now, how would you want to do it? That's up to you. How do I want to do it? Carefully. That's what I'm going to tell you. Now, let's see how the Globex opens. But right now, the way that it's been left, I'm leaving open the possibility that it's going to come down, finish the ABC, finish the minute 4, and then start to rally again. That's my thought. I still believe that the market will be rather pushed towards decent earnings reports coming out next week. So again, 28th, 29th, they start. The 30th, we get a whole bunch. And then the 31st, we get a whole bunch. So by Thursday, we should have a very clear picture of where this thing is going to sit. I mean, we'll start to get it 29th and the 30th. Because it starts to come out on the 29th, and we get the 30th, and the 31st is Apple, and a couple others. I think Apple, Amazon, and maybe somebody else. So, gotta wait. We got to get through the week. Now, in terms of economic data, let me just go very quick and take a peek. Next week, we do have on Tuesday, nothing on Monday. Tuesday, we have consumer confidence, and then we're back in employment situations. So on Wednesday, we have ADP employment, which is always good. U.S. trade balance, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, pending home sales. On Thursday, our favorite, PCE, because that's what the Fed wants to lose. Oh, no, let's not forget. Also, let me toss this out there. We have the Fed meeting on November the 7th. We have an election on the 5th. We have the Fed on the 7th. It's going to be a very kind of weird couple of weeks here, folks. So then on Friday, we have the U.S. employment data that comes out, along with the S&P final manufacturing, ISM manufacturing. So it could be one hell of a week. It really can. So we're all going to have to wait and see. And that's going to be it for today. I don't want to really draw these out a little bit. I'm going to try to keep them short. And the next daily update will be on Monday, October the 28th.